this week on See You Outdoors 24/7. Hey guys, before you take your Christmas tree to the nearest dump or the nearest curb, make sure you watch the rest of this. Hey everyone, welcome back to See You Outdoors 24/7. Well, the Christmas season is over. We have spent most of the morning picking up all the decorations, cleaning up, dragging out the Christmas trees. So I figured I'd do a short video on how I recycle my Christmas tree for medical purposes, hot teas, cover scents for hunting and wildlife photography. You could even collect sap for glue. The Native Americans used to use the pitch to glue on their arrowheads. First and foremost, please make sure you do your research on wild edibles. This one here is a white pine, completely safe to ingest. When you're out in the field and you're looking for a hot tea pine, this is one of the safe ones. And how you recognize a white pine is by its needles. When you flip over on the back side of each pine needle, you'll see a white line that goes up the underside of the pine needle. That's how you can tell that's a white pine. Very safe to ingest. Now, I make hot teas out of the pine needles for the benefit of the vitamin C. A white pine is very good for your vitamin C intake, very natural. So what I do is I grab a bunch of pine needles and I'll put them in a cup, and just like you do a tea bag, and I'll set them in there, and then I'll boil some water, pour the water over top of it, take the pine needles out, and drink the tea. Great vitamin C. I love it. Back to nature. Now, there are several ways that you can do it. You can put a bunch of pine needles, boil the water with the pine needles, boil it. I don't like to do that too much because a lot of people get to the point of overboiling their pine needles, and it will take out all the vitamin C, and that's what I'm after when I want to drink my pine needle tea, is vitamin C. Now, when it comes to a cough syrup, now what I do is I will take a bunch of sprays off the tree, and I will put them in a pan, and I will heat them up to a boil with some honey. Now, the honey is what makes it thick and the consistency for a cough syrup. And once it boils, I'll let it simmer. I'll cover the pan, let it simmer for maybe about 10-15 minutes. And then I will store it in a mason jar. It lasts in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks or so. So it's always good to, on a tree this size, I will usually shred down a bunch of pine needles, and I will put them in plastic baggies, and I will put them in a freezer so I can keep it alive for as long as I need it to. Cough syrup works great. I take a teaspoon of it. Great for the flu season. You can make it as thick as you want, or you can make it as thin as you want, but it depends on how much honey you want to put in your cough syrup. For the cover scent for hunting, I'm an avid hunter. I do use all the other brands and stuff for cover scents, but I also like to get back to the nature of the cover scent. There's a couple ways that you could do this. One way is to put on a pair of gloves and take it and rub the pine needles together like this to release the oils, That's what you want to do. You want to release the oils. Once you release the oils, then you can take your gloved hands and rub down your clothes. Works very well. Another way, same way that you make your teas, your cough syrup, you can boil the needles. I usually don't bring it to a rapid boil. What I do is I'll put them in a big pan and I'll heat them out on the outside fire if you don't want your whole house smelling like pine. And I will cover it and let it simmer. Then I'll take it off the heat, let it cool down for about 2 hours. And then I will pour it in a reusable spray bottle. Now, it don't have all the additives and stuff in your store-bought scent sprays. So, like I said, I will keep a bunch of these pine needles so I can make fresh batches when I need it. I made a batch last year and it still smells like pine. So it lasts quite a while. So yeah, you can make teas, you can make cover scents, you can make cough syrups, you can make a glue out of the pitch. A lot of people shreds down the bark and boils the bark as well for hot teas and stuff. I just do the pine needles. It's just much easier. You can even take a bunch of pine needles when you make your tea. And what I do is I will take a light piece of thread and I'll tie them around in bunches and I'll set them down in my cup. And that way, once your tea is ready to drink, you can just pull the sprigs out, discard them. All right, guys, so I hope this was informative for you. I'm going to get busy and start collecting some of these pine needles. And if you like this kind of video, then please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you'll know when my next videos come out. So next time you buy or you go harvest your own Christmas tree, think about it. It has a lot of purposes before you discard it, take it to the dump or the nearest curb. Thanks for watching.